Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now. Hey now, hey now, hey now. Hey now, and hey now. Welcome to hour number 3 of the line. That's right, baby. We're in hour number 3. Let's keep it rolling. John Bird, I brought John Bird some food today.
I can't wait.
It is a enchilada bake, like a casserole. I fixed you a big plate too.
Dang, I can't wait.
And they get it from Costco, which is a place that John Bird is never going to have a
Yes, I am.
membership because
Yes, I am. I'm going this Sunday. My life has become so busy.
well, we'll see on Monday if you actually went.
Oh, you'll see.
I got a feeling you're going to say, well, I had a bumblebee themed baby shower I had to go to, and
Oh, you remembered.
and
That's Saturday.
What's the latest on that? Is anything new transpired?
No, he said, look, I'm not going to ask you to help because of your knee.
Yeah.
He said, I got to find somebody. They're still sitting over there. I mean, I think they'll go crazy if he tries to move them now, and they'll be like all over the place.
Yeah,
They'll be attacking
man.
everybody. So
He's waiting on you to offer and say,
no,
you know
I did offer, and I was
he
like,
turned you down?
Well, I was like, you want me to come over, tomorrow? He was like, yeah, and I texted him and said, you still want me to come over? And he was like, no, you know what? Your knee.
His wife told him, you can't make him do that.
Yeah, probably. But see, he's getting the house ready. He's doing a lot of carpentry work and stuff.
Yeah.
But he waited way too late. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting.
Why don't you just, I don't know, put,
Pick him up real fast and run to the other side of the yard.
Well, it's in the backyard, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
but it needs to be back further.
So y'all have to use the backyard for the baby shower.
Yeah, I mean, if there's like 70 or 80 people with kids,
That's the thing, dude.
I'm telling you, it's going to be, it will be interesting. It will be memorable.
Kids are going to be running everywhere, dude. You are going to have.
What's this big box, Mr. Seth?
Oh, it's
mayhem,
bro. It's going to be such a disaster. It's going to be such a disaster.
But I'm sure the food will be good.
But if you're there with his permission, can you do some video of maybe you and him discussing, like, you standing out there by the beehives and like y'all trying to figure out what to do? Is he legit going to try to just put some shrubbery around it?
Well, I mean, at this point, it's too late, and he's worried. You take them a long way away, they may fly away.
I mean, if they do fly away, what's the worst that could happen?
He's got some money invested in them.
Well,
I mean, 200,000 bees will be let loose on Hoover.
That's a lot of bees.
Yeah, it is.
How much do you know? How much money he's got in it?
Well, he bought the boxes because they have to be specially made, and I would say he's got a few hundred in it.
Well, that's not too bad.
Well, I mean. You got a baby coming and all that, and he's talking about chickens. I mean, come on, man. Come on, Seth. Pull it together, buddy. You can do this.
Your life's going to be in shambles, Seth. You're going to be sued by 4 cents of parents. And all you're going to have to show for it are confused bees and some chickens.
It's some children with bee stings.
Yeah, some children with bee stings.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm probably just gonna stay inside.
I just picture him putting tree limbs all over the beehive, being like,
"Yeah,
they'll never know."
Yeah, and see, he can't really do that where he is now because it's established.
So the bees they like their hive. So if it gets moved just a little bit, or several yards, can they not find it? Or do they feel like it's a different hive? And
it's all about the pheromones. So, if they move yeah, if you move them 3 feet, that's okay. But we're talking about several yards. So what happens is they're like, I just don't smell it any more. Let's go, and they're gone.
So they don't like when you move them. Are they not on the hive?
Yeah, but I mean their pheromones are all messed up. I mean they're finicky folks. They will pack up and leave,
Huh.
and they're gone. So I mean I don't know. I'm gonna tell him I can help him again, but it would be probably Thursday.
Don't mess yourself up. Well, we got a podcast Thursday.
Well, yeah, but I mean I can help him afterward because it's got to be in the dark. That's the
Oh
bad
my
thing.
God.
Yeah, is you can't do it during the light.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, if it's dark, no wonder they don't know where their hive is when you move it. It
Yeah.
seems like you'd want to do it during the day.
Well, no, they'll all be in there, but then what will happen is they'll come out to defend, and you get a lot of defenders, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So, my worry would be, if you're doing it 3 feet, you just do it, takes a few seconds, and, they're like, and they're okay. But you're lifting up, and you keep walking, and you're trying not to shake it, and they keep coming out. What if you go, and drop it, and then boom, all hell breaks loose on who, and you make the news.
What about putting a big garbage bag over it and then moving it?
I think that might make it worse.
You think so? I mean, I'm just thinking about ways to contain the bees while you move it.
Well, you can't because they're always flying around. They're looking for pollen and stuff like that.
But even if it's just 80% of them are in the trash bag, you just put it over the top, pick it up at the base, and move it.
Look, I'm just his friend. That's it. If he wants me to help, fine. I have, no skin in the game. But I mean, I will. I'll put on that suit because it's so cool, and I can go out there at night and help him move them. But if you trip on something, I mean, I don't know. And I will be standing by with my phone in case things go south on Saturday and people are running and screaming. I will be. I will have my camera
Get
ready.
us some footage.
Yeah.
I wonder if we've got any bee people in the audience.
I bet we do.
That maybe they've got some advice on moving a hive.
Yeah, especially in some of the outer cities where there's more room.
All right, so any beekeepers in the audience, call us 205-545-9950. We're trying to help our boy Seth out.
Yeah.
In his situation that is only getting worse by the day.
Every day he waits.
Every day you wait. Also, I need some help with Peyton's car stereo. I don't really understand. I'm not an electrician. I don't know car audio, but he's having problems hooking up his door speakers to his amp and then to his radio, I think.
He got a new system, right?
No, he got new speakers.
No.
He's got the radio that came with it was like some Chinese aftermarket, and it doesn't have the right adapter on the back of the radio. And so he's having some sort of problem. I think he's going to have to get a whole new radio, honestly. But
that would be the smartest
I need
thing.
somebody that can reach out to me where I can just get Peyton to tell me what exactly is wrong, and I can send it to them, and then they can fill me in. So you can reach out to me on the text line or hit up my one of my social medias. Send me a message, and I'll try to be on the
We got
lookout
so many
for it.
smart people out there.
Yeah, I really need help on that because he's been messing with that for a long time and still hadn't got it figured out. And I don't have any car speaker people in my life, I don't think, that I know of. So y'all hook it up. 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. Let's hit this break. Come back on the other side. More of the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, which is seemingly taking over right after this. 205-545-9950. James Carville has become the voice of reason within the Democrat Party. Crazy enough. You know, James Carville, who almost sounds like the old country lawyer. He said Donald Trump is dying of syphilis. Remember when
Don't
he was
put that
saying
on the old country lawyer.
James Carville is crazy. He is a crazy, crazy individual. But he's got a bit of a problem with the socialist wing of the party, the rise of socialism in the party. And we talked about the Wisconsin chick. You got the El Sayed guy. You've got Mamdani. You've got several that are increasing in popularity. And it's crazy. It's scary, but it's crazy. And a lot of people think that the credit goes to this Hassan Piker guy, who is just a podcaster, but he's also engaging actively in DNC politics, and he's promoting all this socialism stuff. Like this guy, Hassan Piker, is he's Muslim. I think there was a video out there of him saying that Muslims were going to take over New York, and this is a jihad or something to that effect. And so that's where people are putting the foundation of all of this. And James Carville, while talking about that, I think he was actually on Fox News with Jackie Heinrich, and he says if Hassan Piker becomes a force within the Democrat Party, as he seems to be doing, he says, I'm out of here. I'm out of the Democrat Party. And that's a crazy thought to think about. James Carville, of all people, dipping out on the Democrat Party, but he said it.
Where should Democrats draw the line on this stuff?
Whatever Scott Galloway says, I believe it. I think that he's one of the smartest, most cogent, brilliant analysts there is. And I'm not sure what to understand what Madonna is doing, but to talk about the larger Democratic Party post the election in Michigan going forward, I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, Jackie, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress here in the coming months. I mean, you see it in with Tucker and Martin Taylor Greene, and on the Republican side, you see it going on right now. And I can't sit here and tell you for certain how this is going to turn out. But the one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party.
He said it. He said, I am not going to be in the same political party as Hassan Piker. And if you lose James Carville, well, that's not good. Because he's one of the most dedicated liberals out there. And it's not just the Democrat socialists that are putting the Democrats in a bad spot for this particular election cycle, but maybe well into the future. Even in Maine, remember they replaced Graham Plattner with Troy Jackson. Well, Troy Jackson, even before, I heard rumblings of him, and I didn't really know a lot about him other than he ran for office in Maine at one time and didn't win. I think he ran for governor or something. As soon as I look into him, I find these allegations of him being violent with female staffers. He threw a bottle at one of them one time and almost hit her, I guess. And it was like, I mean, you couldn't find somebody else with a cleaner record. And then we find out that he is in a relationship with a second cousin and has 2 children with his second cousin. And then when he's asked about it, he says it's shameful and desperate attacks on me from the other side, but doesn't deny banging his second cousin and having 2 kids. That's weird, dude. If you want to get with your cousin and have babies, you might want to like not get into politics. You probably don't even want to have like a Facebook page. You know, you want to keep a very low profile. But this guy, this guy has no shame. He's like, yeah. Couple kids, keep it in the family. Family tree doesn't have a lot of branches. No big deal. I thought she was hot. And Susan Collins, who is maybe the most boring person in Congress, has got to be licking her chops. It's like, this is great. And again, Troy Jackson is not the socialist guy, although he's got very progressive ideas and will embrace the socialists like the rest of the Democrats. But they're going to say that, oh, he's just a regular old guy. He's a lumber. He runs a lumber mill. He's a lumberjack. Troy Jackson, the lumberjack, just happens to have a couple kids with his cousin. Like, that's your middle of the road. That's your moderate Democrats. So they're just screwing themselves every way they can. And for the ones that are in office are already proven to be absolute duds, like Mamdani. Remember, Mamdani's putting up government-run grocery stores, right? And now they're having to lay out the rules for these government-run grocery stores. And the press the other day was asking, like, well, how do you make sure that people are not taking advantage? And how do you make sure that people that aren't from the area and aren't from New York are not coming in here and taking advantage of these super low prices that are being subsidized by the government? You know what their solution was? You got to provide an ID.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Yeah, you just make sure you provide some sort of identification that shows you're a New Yorker. And you can come buy groceries.
Sound familiar?
At our government-run grocery store. But for voting, that's different. That's different. You don't need an ID for that. Because voting is much more important than eating. Voting is much more important than buying groceries for your family. That'll be a disaster. That is going to absolutely crater in record time. But they've tried it before. I think they tried one out in Kansas City. And people went in there, they didn't have any food. And what was there was like rotting on the shelf, like rotting produce. It just smelled like a dead body in there. It was just, the government can't run business. It's been proven time and time again. Also, surprise, Mamdani's universal free child care program that he set up so New Yorkers don't have to pay for child care anymore, it is now projected to cost billions and billions more than originally planned. As New York faces a historical budget deficit, they've got no way to pay for it. So, yeah. If anybody's wondering whether or not it's a good idea to prop up these socialist candidates in the Democrat Party, we've already got an example. That's why I told you, I said the Mamdani thing's not really that bad of an idea. I mean, I hate it for New York, but it gives us a real-life example of what socialism does. I got so many devices, and everything just keeps dying. I've got like, look at all these plugs. I got everything
Gosh,
plugged
do you
up.
not charge it before you go to bed?
No, it's just too much to charge. Because I got vapes and devices, and I charge my phone and my vapes. But if I try to lay all this stuff out and charge it, then I'm going to end up forgetting them and not bringing them with me, and it'd just be a whole thing. So, because I'm a very forgetful person. Who's not forgetful is Deep South Construction Pros. They remember, and they always remember you when it comes to taking care of your home stuff. A lot of different things they take care of, but I always concentrate on foundation and waterproofing. Basement waterproofing, crawl space encapsulations. Y'all know the importance of that. And you know the importance of making sure your home is not got any foundation problems. So if you suspect any of that, if you suspect moisture's getting in your crawl space or your basement, make sure you reach out to these guys. Great guys, locally owned, right here in Alabama. I'm proud of that. They're proud of, over the fact that they invest their money back into the state, into the local economies, and not send their money off to another state. They are born and raised in Alabama. So hit them up. Here's the number, 256-305-1854. That's 256-305-1854. Deep South Construction Pros.com. Deep South Construction Pros.com. So yeah, Mom Donnie, man, he's really doing it big time for the socialism. Really putting socialism front and center. Again, like I said before that break, this is a good real life example for people to see how socialism works. Now we're in the early stages of it, so people haven't really discovered the dire consequences that aren't to come, which is, people's lives being ruined, people dying. Like that happens when it comes to socialism. People die. But some are seeing the effects of it. You heard James Carville mention a guy by the name of Scott Galloway. Scott Galloway is just this overeducated liberal that does a podcast, or maybe he worked for some sort of institute or was a professor or something. I don't know what his backstory is. But he does one of these very boring progressive podcasts. He's just some old guy. And he lives in New York, and he supports Mamdani. Well, he's pissed now because of Mamdani's tax the rich mentality and the fact that now people who have a second home are being taxed as well as identified, because that's what socialists do. They like to not only tax you for being successful, but they like to put you on blast to make sure people know that you're the bad guy because you've been successful in life. Listen to how he frames this.
And I've been doxxed.
You've been doxxed. What? Tell me.
So I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax. I came out in favor of this tax. This is the definition. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street, and then publish the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this?
The term for that individual is useful idiot. That's called a useful idiot. And Mamdani appreciates you. You support him, you promote him, you laud him as great and wonderful and what New York needs, and now it bites you in the ass. I've been doxxed. Now people are going to think I'm a bad guy. Well, just put a, trans kids belong poster in your yard or something, It's very easy to convince these are not smart people. Oh, man. He's like, it's a wanted poster. I'm on a wanted poster. They'll learn. Listen, the people that voted for this crap, they'll learn. Now, not the people that came into this country illegally and are casting votes and trying to bring their third world BS into this country. Now, they'll benefit from this. But those super intelligent, super educated white liberals who really are a big problem when it comes to promoting this stuff, when you look at these socialist candidates, they're being propped up by white people. They really are. They want to talk about white oppression and cancel Thanksgiving and the founders are racist and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, the minorities that you're pandering to, like a lot of them don't really like this. A lot of them don't really get behind a lot of this stuff. It's the super intelligent white people that do, though. You got their vote. But regular folk see right through this stuff. You can go watch C-SPAN at any time when they do these little call-in shows and hear people call. People call in and the host will be like, "Hello, welcome to C-SPAN. What's your party affiliation and who are you voting for?" You know, and then the caller will be like, "Oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I feel this way, and blah blah blah." Well, this one caller from Georgia called C-SPAN the other day. He is an independent voter. He is a veteran. And he says this socialist stuff, these commies that are getting elected, he's like, it is too much. I don't like Trump. I don't like Republicans and what they're doing, but this is over the top, and I'm not going to support it.
I'm in Georgia. Which party do you plan to vote for in November?
I'm a little bit confused on that right now because the Democrats have lost their mind. This is insanity what is going on. You're sitting here and telling me that the United States of America is going to have a socialist party that is going to be running the country? What military? I did 11 years, and as a disabled veteran, I would never join the military and fight for a socialist republic. This is insanity. So now I'm thinking I have to vote Republican to stop this from going on, but then I look at them and I'm like, they don't have the guts to stand up to nothing that Trump puts in front of them except McCloskey. She's the only one that seems to be able to do that, and she's leaving. So now, in order to stop this insanity from the Democratic Party, I'm going to have to hold my nose and vote Republican, because I would rather vote Republican and have this country stay the United States of America, the Democratic Party, the Democratic country we are, than to turn it over to a bunch of lunatic socialists. That's what they are. And you name me one socialist country that is not on their hands and knees right now struggling. And that's where we'll be if we continue down this road.
Who's that remind you of?
Who that? What, that guy?
That caller. Reminds you of Barry, who calls us.
Oh, that's right.
That's exactly. I was like, is that Barry?
Yep.
So it sounds like it. And so this guy's like, dude, this is insanity. He's like, I don't like Trump. I like people stand up to Trump, but this is crazy. He's like, I'm a veteran. I'm a disabled veteran, and never would I go and fight to defend or fight on behalf of these socialists. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, he goes on and makes a couple of other points and shows his hatred for Donald Trump and everything else. But just listen to how this call goes.
And Tim, do you support the president's actions in Iran, the war there?
I supported it, but like I said, I'm a disabled veteran. I was there when the embassy and the Marine barracks got bombed in Lebanon, and we all knew that Hamas was the one behind it. But the government didn't do anything behind it. The problem I got with Trump is he doesn't have an end game. He doesn't have no way out. He had no way to come in and actually secure it. It's like he's sitting here playing with them, in my opinion, and it's strictly my opinion, to keep the oil prices up so the oil companies could come in and profit off of it, just like he went into Venezuela. That was an illegal action. You can't go into a country and kidnap the president, put some fake charges on him, and take over his whole oil field and his whole whatever and give it to the oil companies to run. Now he's out of control. I supported him when his first term, but this second term, he's turned into a madman with this war. So I'm stuck. But I'm not. I would rather ride with Trump than give this country to a bunch of lunatic socialists who want to get rid of the military, get rid of ICE, get rid of the cops. They just want to turn this place into a madhouse.
Yeah. So he really doesn't like Trump, but he makes some important points there that I think highlight a couple things that have been the point of discussion for a lot of people for a while now. One of which is this is a veteran who doesn't like Trump but supports the actions in Iran. Why does he support the actions in Iran? Because he was in Lebanon when they were attacked by Hamas. He's been in the Middle East, and he has seen what Iran has done to our men and women. And he understands how many U.S. soldiers have been killed at the hands of Iran. When you put it in that perspective, everybody would be on board. Nobody would be okay with a country killing our men and women. And they've been doing it for decades. Decades, ladies and gentlemen. Forget the nuclear weapon. That's enough right there for us to take you out. That's a red line you don't cross. Okay? So that's first off. He gives, being somebody that was there in it and has suffered at the hands of Iran, he understands it. But he goes on to say he doesn't like what Trump is doing now because there seems to be no end game, that Trump doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know what he's trying to do other than going in there to take the oil and give it to the oil companies and to keep gas prices up. Now, well, I like this guy saying that he's going to vote against the Democrats. He shows that he's not fully informed on what's going on. He probably listens to liberal outlets and everything else, and that's what's got him confused. Donald Trump was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. He was attacking the oil companies. He was saying they have made far too much money. Something is going on. If they're profiting off of this, then that's going to be a no-no. That money should go back to the people. And I'm going to get to the bottom of why this is happening, because it shouldn't be. Your profits shouldn't be skyrocketing and be 12 times higher than they were the year before. He's not going to put up with that. Now, if Donald Trump was in it with the oil companies to have the prices jacked up and to enrich these oil companies, why would he say that? Why would he publicly blast oil companies and accuse them? Literally accuse the companies, the overall companies, not gas stations, the oil companies, of ripping people off and gouging people. That wouldn't be a very, very smart move if you're in with the gas companies. But I digress. He goes on to talk about Venezuela and everything else. And with Venezuela, talking about taking the oil, go and get the oil there and give it back to the oil companies. Venezuela took over our companies, the Chevrons that were in Venezuela. They just took them over. So we were just going back and getting what was ours. And yes, we can kidnap a president if we want to, especially if he's sending drugs into this country. So, neener. Outside of all of that, the dude's pretty spot on. Leftist, socialist, lunatics are being propped up by the Democrat Party, and they are perfectly fine with these insane people ruining this country. Also, if all of that's not enough, good news, more good news for the Democrat Party. ABC has figured out a way to make The View even worse. They're bringing back Rosie O'Donnell.
I wonder if she's going to sing a national anthem for him.
It's right.
Wait a minute.
You're thinking of Roseanne.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, why would they have her on?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Freak.
I expected a more emotional reaction from you, but you got confused on who it was. Don't ever confuse Roseanne and Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell, that's crazy.
So they have decided that The View is not horrible enough in its current form and have decided to bring back former host. She is a former host and perpetual TDS sufferer, Rosie O'Donnell. So do the executives at ABC enjoy making the American people suffer? Because the thing is, it's not just about, like, whether or not you watch The View on TV. Like, this ends up on social media, and it ends up in your face. Hell, it ends up on this show. So you can't get away from it. Now, granted, this is going to be like a one-off thing for their anniversary or something like that, but, like, Rosie O'Donnell's about as cuckoo as it gets.
Yeah, isn't she one of the OGs?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they should, you know what, they should bring Barbara Walters back, too.
Yeah, they should.
And prop her up in a chair.
Yeah.
That's John. That's horrible.
I mean, some people do that at funerals. They take their loved ones and,
yep,
you know, in the black community, I've seen that
especially
happen.
rappers.
Put them up in a chair, have them upright at a blackjack table. You know, doing what they love.
G Money.
Richard the Cop, what's up, buddy?
So listen to that guy that you played that called into C-SPAN. With my observation skills and many years of experience, I can tell you a couple things. One, he said he was ex-military, but he was calling from Georgia. One, he sounded like one of your regular callers that calls in, the one that really goes off when he calls in, Barry.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of Barry because he's got that I was born up north accent, and I'm transplanted to Georgia because of the military. And I appreciate him coming over to our side, but he's either got to commit 100% or get out the boat, row or get out the boat. Because when I went and voted in the primary last time, the lady said something to the lady next to her, said, "Oh yeah, he's voting Republican." I said, "Yes, ma'am. I'd sooner go to hell covered in gasoline than vote to be a Democrat." And she just looked at me and said, "You have a good day. Go Trump."
Go Trump.
So, I mean, if they can be stone cold a-holes, I know how to step it up. I had a couple of ladies I took Tuscaloosa the other day. I picked up on a medical trip, and these are older black ladies, and they were started off mouthing about Trump just a little bit. I think Trump's doing that. Why is he doing that? I bit my tongue there to keep my mouth shut. Because can't put two 60-something-year-old women on the side of I-59 and say, "Get out of my car."
Yeah.
But if you run into some of the biggest no-name, non-thinking, inbred, not got good sense people that don't know the facts, don't listen. Like Dixon said this morning, most people don't live, eat, and breathe it like you do and he does and Val does. But the ones of us that listen every day here, we are smarter, as he said, than the average bear.
Right.
Well, I'll give you that because I may not get argue the Constitution with you, but I can tell you right from wrong. And right now we got it really good. We've got to keep that succession of power going to
Yeah.
Vance and
Well,
Vance
listen,
and Rubio.
I got to hit this break, but I'm with you 100%.